Here's an episode of How to Analyse Poetry from the Learning Cauldron. Today we'll be looking at Carol Ann Duffy's poem, The Way My Mother Speaks. Analysing poetry involves identifying and dissecting the literary techniques that the poet has used effectively to explore the theme or themes of a poem. In her poem, The Way My Mother Speaks, Carol Ann Duffy explores the themes of change, new beginnings, life transitions, family, relationships. The title of the poem is quite unusual, The Way My Mother Speaks, but all becomes clear when we move into the first stanza. The poem is written in the first person voice, in the voice of the poet herself, and she says, I say her phrases to myself. And these are the phrases of her mother. Her mother was Scottish, and she would therefore have a Scottish turn of phrase. And these are the things that Carol Ann Duffy remembers as she travels from her home down through England to start a new life as an adult. And she repeats these phrases in her head or under the shallows of her breath. And that's a lovely phrase, suggesting that she's whispering them almost as she moves down the countryside by train. The word choice of restful helps us feel that she's calm about the situation, although she's maybe slightly apprehensive about what lies ahead. We don't feel that this is a frenetic journey. And the phrases then are mentioned, the day and ever, the day and ever. And the repetition almost mirrors the sound of the train and the rhythm of the train moving. The second stanza starts with a transferred epithet, the train this slow evening. Now in actual fact it is the train that is slow and not the evening, so this adjective has been transferred to evening, and it emphasises the fact that the journey is taking a long time. And then we have the word choice of browsing for the right sky, and this gives us an idea of her sense of apprehension, as if she's sort of looking for the right thing to do as she moves into adulthood, moving away from home. Too blue is referring to her childhood, swapped for a cool grey, and that's a reference to what lies ahead. It doesn't sound perhaps as attractive, and this shows that she's slightly uneasy about what her new life may hold. The reference to the word choice for miles suggests that the journey has been going on for a while, and during this period she has been repeating, what like is it? Again, this is a Scots phrase meaning literally, what is it like? Then there is a phrase that is repeated, nothing is, nothing is. It says nothing is silent, and then immediately contradicts itself with another short sentence, nothing is not silent. And this all adds to the poet's feelings of confusion, and the contradiction is rife throughout this poem, in fact. And then again we have this repeated phrase, what like is it? Moving on to the final stanza, she says, only tonight, which suggests that this is a one-off, this journey. This is the only time she's going to be able to feel this, because it's the only time when she will ever move from her familiar family home to start a new life as an adult. And she has mixed emotions. I am happy and sad. And there's the assonance of A there, which really focuses us on this fact that she isn't sure what she feels. She does feel happy in a way because she's moving on to the next stage of her life, but she's also sad to leave behind her mum, her family, and her mother apparently had a very big influence on Duffy, which is why perhaps this poem came about. Then we have a simile, that she is like a child who stood at the end of summer and dipped a net in a green erotic pond. And this is quite an unusual image. It's the idea of a child coming to the end of that phase of her life, of childhood, and approaching sexual awareness and adulthood. And there's this lovely image of dipping a net in a green erotic pond. And here there's the use of a transferred epithet again, which we encountered earlier, where the description erotic is given to the pond, when in actual fact it's more her future and the city life that lies ahead. We have that contrasted with green, which is the idea of innocence of childhood and lack of experience. The Scots phrase, the day and ever, meaning today and forever, is repeated again twice after this. We've got the day and then an enjolment and ever, and then the whole phrase together. And this again mirrors the rhythm of the train journey. She concludes by saying, I am homesick, free, in love with the way my mother speaks. And there's a lovely enjolment there leading us forward, in love with the way. The homesick seems to contradict the free that follows it. Homesick suggests that she's missing her home, her family. Free suggests that perhaps she's excited about the new prospect of an adult life that lies ahead. But in amongst all of this, the one thing she knows for sure after this journey is that she is in love with the way her mother speaks. This suggests that there will always be a connection between herself and her mother and her roots. It also links right back to the title and explains what we initially were puzzled by, what it means, the way my mother speaks. I hope that's been helpful. See you next time.